In this lesson, I would like to tell you about one very interesting feature of Synfig Studio. Let's take a look at this sample. Now, let's try to guess how many waypoints were used to create this animation. 18, 9, or 5? The correct answer is only 2. Synfig Studio have powerful features for creating automatic animation, and now I'm going to demonstrate them by recreating the animation of this bee. Here we have a bee body and a wing with background image. Let's import bee and her wing onto work area. Group them together and scale. Like this. Move wing into the right place and set its rotation center. Now we are going to add automatic animation. In Synfig Studio you can attach mathematical function to any layer parameter. Let me demonstrate how it works using a simple circle. Here we have a circle. Let's select its origin parameter. Right click and choose Convert. Here we got a list of available functions. In Synfig Studio we call them converters. Choose Random Converter. Look. Now our circle makes random movements. Notice that there is a small triangle mark appeared near the origin parameter. Click on it to see parameters of the converter. The link subparameter represents a central point for random variation. Here we can set a maximum radius of variation. Speed, or seed. Each seed value defines different random motion. To remove converter from parameter, just right-click on it and choose Disconnect. As you probably noticed, the random converter made influence to both x and y axes of origin parameter. Now, let's try to make it influence only x-axis. To achieve this, I'll apply Composite Converter for origin parameter. This converter doesn't produce any animation, but it splits our parameter to elementary components, x and y. Now, again, let's right-click on x subparameter and choose Convert, Random. Now, our circle is randomly moving only in horizontal direction. And finally, I would like to show you one more interesting converter, which is called Linear. This converter changes parameter value with constant, linear velocity. Let's attach it instead of random function. It's not really necessary to disconnect random converter. When I'm attaching linear converter to x subparameter, the old one is automatically removed. Let's set rate value to 1. You can see our circle is moving horizontal with constant velocity, and this movement is infinite. Now let's get back to our bee. So we want to animate a wing. For this, I'll attach a random converter to its angle parameter. Right now, this gives almost no effect. That's because the radius value is set to 1. That means that maximum variation of random movement is only 1 degree. Let's set radius to 30. Much better. But the wing moves too slow. Let's set speed value to 25. Great. Let's take a look at the graphs. And yes, make sure that you have angle parameter selected. So, we have one wing animated. Let's copy it. Put it down, move here, and scale down a bit. We have a really cute bee now. Notice that the second wing have a different movement than first one. That's because the random converter got a different seed value when the layer was copied. We can make wings move synchronously if we assign the same seed value to both, like this. But for my taste, it's better when they move differently. So let's revert our last changes. Now let's make our bee to fly from one side of the screen to another. Turn on animation mode. Set initial position and final position. Now it's flying. Right now the trajectory of our bee is a straight line, but it would be really great to make her move with some fluctuations. Then the animation will look more realistic. Let's do that. And here we'll use random converter again. To make the things easier, let's remove animation of bee. Now it remains at the same place. We can create one more group inside of the main one and attach a random converter to its transformation offset. But instead, I'll show you one more interesting thing. You probably remember that Synfig Studio have special layers acting as filters. And here, we will use one very simple filter layer, which translates everything beneath it. Here it is. See, this layer is very simple and have only one parameter. Now, I am attaching random converter to it. Set radius to 15. Done. Now, again, let's make our bee move from one side of the screen to another. Let's check the result. As you can see, the linear motion combines together with random motion, and that makes our animation look more complex. You're probably wondering, what is an advantage of using translate layer instead of group? Well, in this particular case, there is actually no advantage. But in some cases this approach can be especially useful, because it allows easily turn off the translation effect. Look, so we can easily enable and disable this effect with just a single click. It's very simple. Such approach with filter layers is especially useful for creating camera pan or zoom. And finally, one last touch for our animation. Let's add a background. Well, that's all. Our animation is finished now.